first want to thank Peter Joyce and his wonderful staff tonight for the beautiful decorations, the wonderful food, so definitely a round of applause for them. And especially Scott the bartender, who's actually missing his kids' birthdays tonight for this event. So money does buy you happiness, apparently. Before we begin, first of all, a big thanks to Larry Fogarty. Where is he?
Right here, sir. Right.
It's good to know I'm not the only one with a three-piece suit. Good to know, thank you. Number two, I want to just put a couple of notions down. Number one, I'm not getting married. I've been asked that about 15 times tonight. And number two, it's not a boy or a girl. Okay? First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. I know many of you drove very far. Many of you rearranged your schedule. So on behalf of my parents and my family, we thank you very much for coming tonight for this milestone birthdays. My 30th, 60th for my father, and 35th for my grandmother. So it's wonderful. I wanted to say a couple of words about my grandmother. When I was growing up, I was very lucky because my grandparents actually lived right across the street, or rather on the street over from us. So I was able to have my childhood with my grandmother and my grandfather. And in fact, when I graduated from Seton Hall, my grandmother was the first roommate I had when I moved back to Connecticut. So a quiet room and great food was the best roommate I've ever had in my life. The greatest story I can tell of my grandmother actually happened 2 years ago. When we had Hurricane Sandy hit Connecticut, all the power went out in most of the towns in Connecticut. And I went over to visit her, and you can imagine a grandmother and her grandson in complete darkness with candles, drinking scotch, watching Don Rickles on an iPhone. Still one of the greatest moments to this day. So I wanted to say, Grandmother, I love you very much. I am proud to be your grandson, and I am very happy that we can spend this birthday with you here tonight. All right, let's get to the old man now, because we got some good stories about him. As my brothers can attest to, when we were growing up, many of you remember the Y2K bug that was happening. My father thought it was necessary to fill the basement with Poland spring water and canned goods. And the only person that benefited was my mother, because she didn't have to go to the grocery store for about 4 years. Of course, as my brothers also can attest to, my father's best way of bonding with his sons was through manual labor. Most notably, again, about a couple years ago when we had some bad snowstorms, Pops was watching the news and watched many roofs collapse because of the snow that was on the roof. So he thought it was a great idea that I go on the roof and clean off the roof. Subsequently, I fell off the roof, the smaller one. So that was about that for manual labor. And most notably, the last one, as my family knows, my father went through, whether he will admit it or not, his midlife crisis of figuring out what sports car he wanted. And thank goodness he finally picked one, because I was tired of telling the neighbors that we were not drug dealers. So we're all a little bit thankful that that 65 Corvette is finally here. It's amazing because I think every son in his life wants to hear how proud and how much he's respected by his father. And as my two brothers can agree with me on this, the only difference with my father is we've lost count of how many times he tells us this. So, thank you for everything you've given me, and I love you very much. Best way to say it. And finally, for me, for 30 years, I was trying to think of a word to kind of sum up, how this 30 years has been for me so far, and the only word that I could come up with is blessed. I'm blessed to have two wonderful parents who have given me the great morals, values, and principles in life, who have given me every opportunity to succeed in this world. I'm blessed to have two of the best brothers in the world, other than the fact that they're taller than me. I love them to death. And I'm certainly blessed to have wonderful family and friends, and especially colleagues as well, that are great people to work with, great people to be around. And I just want to say thank you very much that you could spend this milestone birthday here tonight with us. So thank you so much, everybody.